Anthony Fantano has done something very weird. As you can see here, just a sliver of the weirdness. He has DM'd me what essentially amounts to him bragging in my DMs about the fact that he was able to have smex. To be entirely clear, I did not initiate this conversation. He DM'd me. All I did was respond with a gif of Walter White. He DM'd me to brag about the fact that he had smex. Which, by the way, I really don't care. I don't care. You're almost 40 years old. Of course you can have smex. Okay, I'm gonna rewind because these DMs are obviously very inappropriate and strange and psychotic. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. I probably wouldn't do a video of this if he didn't DM me and get me looped in. It all starts with an OnlyFans star, Michelle Rue, whatever, that's her Twitter handle, posting basically saying someone was telling her to prove it. Prove what? I don't know. It's not very clear. None of this is very clear, but Michelle posts pictures showing that she was in a relationship with Anthony Fantano. And these photos are explicit. I'm not going to show them all here because they're sexual in nature. Basically, all of our eyes were seared with images of Anthony Fantano being sexual with a porn star. Not explicitly pornographic photos, but getting there. I guess since he told me to prove it, here's proof that no matter how basic of a dude you are, you're still able to pull the girl you're obsessed with as long as you keep trying to convince her. Apparently, there's always a chance. Yes, this is my ex I've been referencing. There's many things that are weird about this, from the photos to the fact that she called him basic in this tweet, to the fact that she said that Anthony Fantano basically was like pestering her until she finally like caved. I mean, that's sort of what I get when she says you're able to pull the girl you're obsessed with as long as you keep trying to convince her. That's a whole problematic thing in its own. You should absolutely not try to keep convincing a woman you're interested in to have sex with you. If she says no, you should just drop it. If she has any sort of signs of not being interested in you, you should just drop it. So that's just a whole weird thing too. Why on earth did she endorse that kind of behavior? Why on earth did Michelle post these photos? Was there consent in these photos? There's a lot. Look, this isn't about Michelle. Michelle's obviously not a perfect person for posting these photos and all that. The thing that's weird is once these photos drop, I tweet about it. I'm shocked. Lots of people were tweeting about it. I'm just one of many people who are commenting on this. And then Anthony Fantano DMs me these DMs. Surprised your boy can pull. Get on my level. B word. I'm not gonna say the B word because that's actually a misogynist term. So when I see this, okay, I'm just gonna put it this way. If there were photos like this that leaked of me being, sexual with a person, like in a sexual relationship, I would demand an apology from the person who posted it because you're posting pictures without consent. And two, do some sort of explanation for my audience. But instead, what Anthony Fantano is doing is bragging about it to me, to some random internet, some random content creator. He's like, aha! I am such a pathetic human being who can't get laid, and I finally got laid. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to brag about it. I'm gonna use this to prove that I'm a Chad and criticize my rival Punk Revolution now. By the way, I'm in a happy, loving relationship with a woman that I see as my equal. I'm not treating her like a piece of meat going around, haha, look at this bitch I pulled. That is just so misogynist. That is so misogynist. And the thing that's really upsetting is it's so pathetic for someone to pursue a woman aggressively until she finally caves and has sex with you and starts a relationship with you. And then when it falls apart, instead of seeing her as a human being that you had a relationship with that fell apart, you're using this as an opportunity to brag? Anthony Fantano bragged to me in my DMs. He changed his Twitter channel to Grabthany Tana. I don't have screenshots of that, but he did that for a bit. He was tweeting, kind of bragging about it to his he has an audience of a bunch of 15, 16, 17-year-old boys on the internet. This is sending a message to those boys that yes, it's actually good to pursue a woman explicitly for sex. Yes, it's good to treat women as trophies, that if you are able to sleep with a woman, that's a trophy you get to brag about. Yes, your masculinity is better than other guys if you're able to have sex with a woman. Like, these are all really toxic things that Anthony Fantano should not be saying because they're stupid, and like like, to someone like me who has a brain. I think for 99% of people with a fully developed frontal lobe, we can look at this behavior from Anthony Fantano of flexing about the fact that he had sex, and we see it for what it is. He is acting like an insecure high schooler. He is acting like someone who has felt so insecure his whole life about not being able to have sex, and then he finally had sex, and is using that to brag on the internet, to belittle his enemies. It's so weird, and it's so objectifying to women, and that's so transparent. But to like the average 15, 16-year-old on the internet, they don't know better, and they see this and they think, oh my god, Anthony Fantano was able to pull someone. No. This is not behavior that you want to look at and replicate. Anthony Fantano, like, if he was normal, he would not be engaged. First off, he wouldn't be engaged in pursuing a woman aggressively on the internet, who obviously isn't very even attracted to him in the first place, called him basic and all that stuff. Two, he wouldn't take these goddamn photos. Like, obviously, you know, if you want to take some photos for your personal, you know, benefit or pleasure with the person you're in a relationship with, that's fine. But these photos are clearly like, he's posing in these photos like he's like, as if he almost like as if there's a part of him that wants these to leak on the internet. These are photos for someone who views sex in a very patriarchal manner, where sex is seen as something that you do to conquer, because it makes you Chad, rather than something you do because you see a woman that you love, and you see her as your equal, and you're engaging this sexual behavior because you love her. And I can't help but wonder if that toxic kind of mindset that he has, obviously, and is displaying, is part of the reason why their relationship fell apart, and why she's, you know, saying that he fumbled the bag and all this stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much about their relationship. What I can see is in my DMs, from what he DM'd me, and also from the freaking stuff he's posting on Twitter, he is literally a misogynist. Like, I see Anthony Fantano tweet a bunch of left-wing stuff. I think that's great. You know, I'm so happy that he speaks, you know, he's a left-wing guy who speaks out about a bunch of left-wing issues. That's all great. But Anthony Fantano, if you're watching this, you're lacking in the feminism department. You got to step it up. First things first, don't aggressively pursue women in a sexual way. Okay, I mean, obviously, if you want to have sex, you want to go on those apps and try to find someone to hook up with. You can do you. I have nothing against, you know, that. I have nothing against Michelle or whatever. It's just from these messages, from the tone, from the whole thing, we can just kind of see transparently. It just seems like you kind of view women as meat a little bit here. That's all I'm saying. You don't call them a bitch. Don't act like having sex with a woman is like, you know, like she's a trophy you get to show off to your teenage audience. That's messed up in the first place, and it's also messed up you're doing that to a bunch of teenagers who are very impressionable and don't know better and are going to start acting like this as well. Don't DM, like the DM, like the fact that you DM me this is all the proof in the world that you have this weird patriarchal idea of what sex is, that men who have more sex are more valuable than men who don't, and you should, you know, do that, and you should rub it into I don't care, dude. You're nearly 40 years old. Of course, if you pursue a woman you want to have sex with, you can do that. That's everyone can do that. The fact that you're bragging about it says a lot more about you than the actual sex itself. If you go and have sex with a porn star or whatever, go ahead. I don't care. No one cares. Do what you want. That's fine. That's not impressive to me. That's nothing. The fact that you're bragging about it, that's bizarre. Are you bragging because you're coping with the fact that these embarrassing photos leaked? What is going on? I don't know. I'm just getting really bad vibes from this whole thing, and he DM'd me. Look how many followers I have compared to him. Why me? All right, my rant is over. I don't know what to make of this, folks. Anthony Fantano, you need to please go to therapy. Get on medication. Do what you gotta do. You can do better than this, man. Not in terms of like, you know, oh, you can get laid, blah blah blah. I'm talking like literally as a person. you're reeking of insecurity. You're reeking of desperation. Most high schoolers are even too mature for this, but you expect immature high schoolers to sleep and tell and brag and act like, oh, ha, ha, I had sex. Not a man who's almost 40 years old. You can do better. Punk revolution now.